4 common mistakes that homebuyers make. I'm Melanie Beran with Wyatt Properties, myhomeinhouston.com, and I am so glad you're here because we're going to talk about 4 mistakes that homebuyers commonly make. I love working with homebuyers because I remember the feeling that I got and how happy I was when we bought our first home, and I just want other people to have that same feeling where you've been renting and then you just get to go and you're like, I'm home. So that's what I'm really hoping for you, and we're going to talk about these 4 mistakes that home buyers make. So if this information might be useful to you, make sure that you like this video and subscribe so that you get all the information that you need on your home buying journey. Now that we're past all that, let's jump right into the 4 mistakes that home buyers commonly make. And the first one is shopping without a home loan pre-approval. Basically, 2 things are likely to happen that are both bad when you shop without a home loan approval. And really there's 3. So let's talk about them. I said 2, but there's 3. The first one is that you overshop your budget. If you're not familiar with loans and how they work and how loan pre-approval works, you may say like, hey, I'm going to look at my monthly budget and I think that I can afford, this much for a house payment, and this is how much the online calculator tells me that monthly payment means this how much I can spend on a house. And so you're shopping for a $300,000 house and the lender's only able to approve you for $260,000. Particularly that happens when you use online calculators because Texas doesn't have an income tax, but we do have higher property taxes. So a lot of times when you're using those online calculators, the property tax amount isn't right. And what that ends up doing is you end up, if you're really shopping for homes and trying to view homes without having a loan pre-approval, you end up falling in love with something that you can't have, right? It's like a junior high girl, when you're my age, junior high girl, like falling in love with Justin Timberlake, and so like the boy next to you that you could actually date and high school or college, whatever, fall in love with, get married, all that kind of thing is not any good because you're obsessed with Justin Timberlake. Okay, same concept. If you could only get pre-approved for around $260,000, $270,000, but you're shopping for a $300,000 home, this $265,000 home that would have been great and perfect for you isn't going to seem as good because you fell in love with something you can't have. One of the reasons you don't want to shop without a pre-approval is you could overshop your budget, and then it's really hard to readjust those expectations. The flip side of that is you could actually undershop your budget. My husband and I kind of did that when we first started because we thought we knew how much we wanted to spend on a mortgage payment, and the bank ended up pre-approving us for like tens of thousands of dollars more than we thought we would be pre-approved for. Just keep that in mind, where the flip side is you may be shopping in the $250 range and the bank may actually be fine, or your lender may be fine with pre-approving you for $300. So there could be a house out there at $280, $285 that meets all your hopes and dreams, and you're under shopping yourself. So that could be a problem too. And then the third thing, you don't want to fall in love with a home, and then when you're going through the pre-approval process so that you can put an offer in, have somebody else sneak in there and put their offer in and get it accepted, and now the home that you love that was even was like the right price range and all those things for you, it's gone because those shoppers had their pre-approval letter and you didn't, and the seller required a pre-approval letter to even have the offer considered at all. So those are going to be 3 reasons that it's a huge mistake to shop without a pre-approval letter. And as a real estate agent, like most responsible agents, we're going to tell you that we're going to ask you to go ahead and get a pre-approval before we start even letting you in houses to show, because it's really in your best interest. And if you need a lender, like I have a good handful of trusted lenders that have first-time homebuyer programs, programs for teachers, programs for military, all those kinds of things. So I have a good handful of people that I can confidently refer you to, but they're going to be the reasons why you don't want to shop without a pre-approval. So mistake number 1 is going to be shopping without a loan pre-approval. Step number 2 is going to be using up all your savings and not anticipating costs. When you buy a home, you're going to have a down payment, most likely, and it's most likely going to be between 3 or 3.5 and 20% of the home's cost, right? So a $200,000 home, you're probably going to have somewhere between a $5,000 and $40,000 down payment. On top of that, you're also going to have closing costs, which are another 2 to 5%. So let's say you have a 5% down payment. That is going to be $10,000. and let's say you have 2% more for closing costs, that's going to be another $4,000. So you around $14,000 is what you're going to need to bring to the closing table for closing day. If you have $14,500 in your bank account and the air conditioner goes out 6 months after you buy the house, you don't have the money to fix it. So you want to make sure that you are just remembering that you are going to be a homeowner, and there are going to be some homeowner costs, maintenance costs, potentially within the first 6 months or a year, 2 years after you buy your home. And so you want to make sure that you aren't using up all your money for your saving, for your down payment and your closing costs. When we bought our house, the appliances, all 3 kitchen appliances went out within the first 6 months. Just know those kinds of things can happen, and we were the homeowners, so we were responsible. There wasn't, a landlord to call to fix it. Mistake number 1, shopping without a loan pre-approval. Mistake number 2 is using up every cent you have to buy this house. Step number 3 is going to be buying the home just through the listing agent and not having an agent on your side. And you're probably like, well, Melanie, you're a buyer's agent. Of course you would say that. And I would say that because the listing agent does not have an obligation to work in your best interest. The listing agent, even great, amazing, ethical listing agents, it's not their job to look out for you as the buyer. It's their job to work in the seller's best interests. So they might help you put in an offer on a home for $200,000, but what if the comps show that that home is only really worth $185,000? They're going to help you write that higher offer. They're not going to say, hey, this home is overpriced, you should probably offer down. That's just the nature of the beast. And the reality is that typically as a buyer's agent, I'm compensated by the seller's listing agent's brokerage. Okay, so the way that it typically works is the seller signs an agreement with the listing brokerage that they're going to pay them X amount of a commission, and then part of that commission is agreed to go to whoever the buyer's agent is. So either way, you're paying that amount as part of your home purchase price to the listing agent's brokerage for the commissions for the house. So since you're already paying that amount, shouldn't you have a professional working in your best interest instead of only having an agent and working through the listing agent to make an offer that's working in their best interest? Just something to think about. And then step 4 is not going through multiple lenders to see who has the right loan product for you. There are tons of loan products out there, and I have a good handful of lenders that I love to refer people to that I know are good, solid lenders who answer their phone when we need them to, who are great at educating my clients on the loan side, because I'm on the real estate side and you want someone great on the loan side as well. They communicate well, all those kinds of things. And each one of them offers a little bit different. They're going to be able to offer different interest rates and loan products and things like that. So if you go through multiple lenders at one time, you're going to be able to see who the right fit for you is. And you're going to want to do that 3 to 4 months before you want to buy a house to get that pre-approval so you can look at which one's the best for you. And then from then on, you say, hey, I'm going to go with this lender, and your agent and your lender, and you will all work together to go ahead and buy that house. And those are the 4 big mistakes that I see buyers make consistently. So you're going to want to, 1, scroll down and find the buyer's guide, the link to the buyer's guide in the description of this video, because I have that there for you. Make sure that you subscribe so that you are getting all the information I'm putting out weekly on how to buy a house. I'm Melanie Beran with Wyatt Properties. I hope something really great happens to you today.